Coming up on UIWtv, learn when you can donate blood on campus. Watch the classic theater put on a play in the Botanical Garden, and find out how UIW celebrates the Festival of Colors. All this and more next on UIWtv.
Hello and welcome back to UIWtv. I'm Emily Reyna.
And I'm Andrea Oliva. We're so glad to be back with the latest on what's happening here at UIW and in San Antonio community.
Let's jump right in. Former Mexican President Vicente Fox made a historic visit to UIW yesterday. His visit kicks off the Leaders of the Americas Speaker Series. The series aims to allow the UIW community, students, faculty, and staff to hear from dignitaries and statesmen who have impacted society through their leadership. Fox spoke about topics such as immigration, leadership, and the opportunities the new partnership between UIW and Centro Fox will open up for communities in Mexico.
Understanding that you form a leader, you facilitate the construction of a leader, and you have a person that is going to change the world. So that's exactly the purpose that we're working together, the university and Centro Fox, to build that kind of leaders in the region of Center Mexico.
Centro Fox, the first presidential library outside of the United States, is dedicated to academic programs, education, and building up leaders of tomorrow. The partnership is meant to promote leadership and open career opportunities that Fox says go hand in hand with contribution to the economy of Mexico.
You may have noticed a few bare faces on campus lately. Well, on March 18th, the UIW medical team officially made masks optional for UIW facilities. The decision was prompted by declining cases in the San Antonio area. Some are in support of the change and others say it's a bit premature. Employees and students who test positive are still required to complete the illness reporting form.
Option of not wearing a mask in school or having the choice of wearing a mask or not in school will just make us worse and make us go back to being in online classes and increasing the risk of people getting infected with COVID-19.
Wear a mask or not is positive because there are less cases now, and well, I think sooner or later we'll go back to normal.
According to the UIW medical team, masks are still encouraged indoors for anyone that is unvaccinated or has other health risks. If you'd like more information regarding UIW COVID-19 policies and protocols, visit the university's website. Each spring, UIW holds a fundraising week called Day of the Giving to raise funds for current and future UIW students. This is UIW's fourth annual Day of Giving. This year, UIW raised around $68,000 during the Incarnate Word Week. The funds donated will go to things like athletics, scholarships, and emergency funds. The next Day of Giving will be March 23, 2023.
Russian forces continue to lay siege to Ukraine. New data from the UN Human Rights Office reports over 1,000 civilians have been killed so far. Our live reporter Joy Burgin is on the scene of an event taking place right now on campus in support of our Ukrainian community. Joy?
Thank you, Emily. I'm here in front of the SEC with Alpha Phi Omega. They're working on their service project, helping Ukrainian refugees. Now, this is not the first such event to be held here on campus. UIW has a strong Ukrainian community of students and staff, many of which experiencing challenges we can only imagine.
My friends who I used to swim together like for 2 years, they got the news today that he was killed in a fight today.
UIW alum Vladislav Chumak is one of many Ukrainians living here in the U.S. He's in Boston working on his postgraduate, but his heart is home in Ukraine, where tragedy continues to strike.
I think first 3-4 days were the most stressful for me, and it was not just about my parents or my family. it's the fact that I'm realizing that my whole country is on fire now.
It's been weeks since Russian forces first invaded Ukraine, the impact of which continues to grow.
Imagine the historic halls of UIW. The corner where you have coffee with your friends. The classrooms where you studied, all destroyed. Well, for Ukrainian students, that's the reality they're facing in their hometowns.
Every time I came back to Ukraine, like for holidays, just visiting, I was always like visiting all my friends in Kharkiv for a week at least. And now, unfortunately, they almost like grounded Kharkiv with earth. So the downtown now looks, there is no downtown anymore. It's just bad. It's just so bad.
Adding complication to tragedy, even in war, the two countries are deeply interwoven, especially along the border.
Lots of Ukrainians who live in eastern parts of Ukraine, lots of them like are working in Russia. They maybe have business in Russia.
Many Ukrainians even have family and friends in Russia as well. UIW assistant diving and swim coach Andriy Nikoshenko is no different and feels the strain of this conflict keenly. He's always considered himself both Ukrainian and Russian, but now he's standing behind his Ukrainian heritage.
I'm from Eastern. I'm originally from the south of Ukraine, and this place is occupied by the Russians. It's not about fighting. It's not about to be aggressive each other. We just want to be independent.
He says he's barely slept since the invasion began.
I have like my full family. It's like about 8-10 members of my family, and try to keep connection with them like every single hour, every single minute.
He's joined UIW Student Athlete Advisory Committee in partnering with the International Student Services Office to offer support and resources.
So we're providing flyers that helps bridge that gap, try to explain a little more of what's going on and give them some great information, as well as just trying to raise some donations for those that are in need.
Those in the war zone aren't the only ones who need help. Many of UIW's Ukrainian students are completely cut off from their support system back home. UIW has opened an international student emergency fund for students who may need help paying tuition or housing.
We're a family here at UIW, and we're one, so we just got to take care of one another.
Despite the circumstances, many students like Vladislav refuse to let go of hope.
You know what I'm always saying to myself, that when everything finishes, I'll fly to Ukraine by myself, like to all my friends, and we will rebuild Kharkiv together to the most beautiful condition like of the Kharkiv as it can be possible be, and maybe even impossible.
With UIWtv, I'm Joy Burgin.
The Student Athlete Advisory Committee was able to raise over $1,500 for the International Student Emergency Fund. Now that fundraiser is closed, but that doesn't mean you can't still help out. I'm here with Skylar Burnett. Skylar, what is going on today?
So the Alpha Phi Omega pledges are doing their community service project to support Jeremiah's Hope.
And what is Jeremiah's Hope?
Jeremiah's Hope is a campsite and rescue shelter for at-risk and orphan children located in a small village called Koleski. So today we're giving out free lemonades and juices to the students, and attached is a QR code that goes directly to the Jeremiah's Hope website where you can donate.
Thank you so much, Skylar, for sharing with us and for the work that you're doing. Once again, we're here in front of the SEC. Be sure to stop by and get something to drink. My name is Joy. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Joy. Our thoughts and prayers go out to all of our Ukrainian students and neighbors.
Our very own Mr. Michael Mercer is the proud holder of UIW's Truth Award. He's no stranger to having awards, having been recognized many times before for his work as a journalist. As he pointed out, usually he's the one in charge of reporting on who wins the award for the logos.
Well, I was certainly humbled to get the award, and so, and now that I've got it, I at least know I won't get it next time.
The award is giving each spring recognizes an individual who embodies UIW's mission of truth. Mr. Mercer was nominated by Dr. John Stankus, who noticed that before the logos went digital, Mr. Mercer would walk the entire campus hand-delivering every new edition. We're so proud and thankful for you, Mr. Mercer.
On Wednesday, March 23rd, the Student Government Association met for their monthly open forum. Student leaders discussed upcoming events, Representatives of organizations around campus also spoke about matters involving the campus population. Theater student representatives pitched the idea of a theater organization. This would allow for non-theater majors to get involved and use the theater arts as an outlet. This organization could even be used as a form of therapy to help students be more comfortable with themselves.
Being able to get that help while still being able to express yourselves and be free and just really enjoy life by being the person that you are. So I think it'll definitely help students around campus as well.
Student leaders in the theater department continue to make plans to help students get involved. The Theater Arts Organization will be available to all students next semester. Make sure to check out their Instagram page for updates and information on how to get involved. UIW's School of Mathematics, Science, and Engineering received a $5 million grant for their Black, Indigenous, and Latinx graduate students. The grant was funded by the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation's Equitable Pathways program. UIW professor Dr. Veronica Acosta hopes the grant will provide more opportunities for the students. The president of the Sloan Foundation, Adam F. Falk, is excited to give hope to marginalized students.
The San Antonio Area Blood Bank is in desperate need of blood and is asking for your help. For more on this, we go to Ian Barry, who has the latest on this blood shortage.
Our goal is to have at least a 7-day supply, but a 3-day supply is considered minimum. So as you can see, we are significantly below that.
The San Antonio area is currently facing a severe blood shortage, along with the rest of the nation. Right now, South Texas Blood and Tissue only has 2 days of blood left. Through the COVID-19 pandemic, traditional options for younger donors to donate were halted. Blood drive trucks were not able to reach students at schools, which contributed to these shortages.
I think it's a really good idea to donate blood because there's a lot of blood components that have to be specifically matched for certain diseases, and you never know whose life you could be saving when you donate blood.
Blood transfusions are vital to patients when addressing a wide range of issues. Blood shortages result in hospitals postponing treatments and delaying surgeries.
The number one use for blood is for cancer patients and people undergoing chemotherapy. When a patient is undergoing chemotherapy, they need to maintain a certain level quality of blood.
All blood types are in need, but specifically type O blood is in the most demand. The blood bank serves 100 hospitals and currently needs 200 more patients a day to rebuild supplies. With a donation truck coming to campus, Cardinals will soon have the chance to help.
The blood drives will be held on April 19th and April 20th. Not only will we receive a commemorative Fiesta Medal from South Texas Blood and Tissue, students will earn their community service hours needed.
Make sure to look out for the South Texas Blood and Tissue donation truck coming to campus next month. For UIWtv, I'm Ian Barry.
Check out South Texas Blood and Tissue and UIW's website for any updates. 20 business students from UIW school in Bahia, Mexico visited Tierra Blanca, Mexico. They visited along with other students from the US, France, Poland, Germany, and the Congo. The project, called Educational Missions, is run by UIW's business school in Bajío. The students went to gather more research about business plans to help indigenous communities. They learned about the Otomi people and their culture. The recently opened grab-and-go stop Reds Point is now open for students to visit. The former Cardinal Cart has been rebranded as Reds Point, a food truck-style snack stop near the campus clock tower. Red Point is the first student-run business co-founded by Luis Aaron Jimenez Guillen and Juan Hinojosa. After closing up shop during the COVID pandemic, the two worked closely with the university to ensure their business could come back even stronger.
We were getting a lot of, questions from students like, hey, why do y'all close? Are y'all going to open sometime soon? So that's a good indicator that students actually really enjoyed having the Reds Point open.
The CEO Club, an organization that fosters the entrepreneurial ecosystem at UIW, helped make Reds Point a possibility. They hope to influence other young entrepreneurs on campus to start their own business. The snack shop offers a variety of options, including fruit cups, flavored sparkling waters, chips, and other Mexican-style snacks. Updates and promotions can be found on their Instagram at reds.point.
On March 17th, UIW's English department hosted a discussion with Diana Lopez about her recent work. She discussed her book, Sing With Me, the story of Celina Quintanilla, with the Children's and Young Adult Literature course. The event was hosted as a part of Women's History Month. The authors spent the evening signing books, giving advice, and highlighting women who have made history.
Our investigative team has been working behind the scenes to take an in-depth look at one of the biggest issues our world faces today, food insecurity.
How many times have you thrown away a half-eaten sandwich, a spoiled carton of milk, a to-go box that just isn't as good left over? Well, as it turns out, you're not alone. 1/3 of all food produced in the world is lost or wasted. In the U.S. alone, an estimated 133 billion pounds of edible food goes to waste every year.
Right now, 1 in 5 people in our community is hungry, which is a pretty high number.
How does a system of food production that results in so much waste and uses so many resources still fail to feed such a large percentage of people? The issue isn't just in the U.S., it's global. Despite being one of the largest food producers, Latin America lacks affordable food in low-income communities. According to the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, the same people who work in agriculture can't even feed themselves. Julio Berdeg, the organization's regional representative, said there is malnutrition because of a lack of purchasing power. It's because millions and millions of families lack money. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, hunger in Latin America and the Caribbean is at its highest point since 2000, after a 30% increase from 2019 to 2020. The economic challenges brought by the COVID-19 pandemic are one reason for this increase. Here in Texas, supply chain issues and inflation are affecting the San Antonio Food Bank's ability to serve food-insecure communities.
In a lot of those cases, we've had to maybe put carrots in the meal twice a week instead of once a week because we didn't get the green beans, as an example. Or we would have to substitute a fruit. We'd have to put peaches instead of pears.
With an unpredictable future ahead, the San Antonio Food Bank is joining a nationwide effort.
We know there's going to be challenges with the food supply at some point, and we're going to have to be very innovative on how we address those challenges and still continue to fight hunger in our communities.
With UIWtv, I'm Joy Burgin.
That was Joy Burgin reporting.
It's now time to check out this week's social media question. This time we asked, what's your favorite part about Fiesta? You can find our social media questions on the UIW ComArts social media pages. We'll check in on those responses later in the show. But don't go anywhere just yet. Entertainment news is coming up after the break.
We were at the stores the other day and we were walking around. And we walked up to this one store that was like a plant store. Your birthday's coming up, so I was thinking about looking for something for you. So I was walking around and I ended up seeing this one potted plant holder. I showed it to Mom. She really likes it. She might steal it. But she said it would have been perfect for the plant that you had on the side table in your room. I really wish I could have given it to you. If that drunk driver made the right decision that night, my sister would still be with me. If you're drinking, designate a driver, call a rideshare service, or stay the night. Next time you're debating whether or not to get behind the wheel, think of Diana and her story.
You are watching UIWtv, the word on campus.
I'm Maria Castillo, your entertainment anchor, here to bring you all the latest entertainment news on campus. Let's start with another UIW TV program that recently released its second episode. UIW students Chloe Ippolito and Macy Lipke host the new entertainment program titled Cardinal Nights. The show aims to bring viewers hot topics and entertainment news. Their latest Fiesta-themed episode featured special guest Kalisa Burns. This year's Miss Fiesta San Antonio and included a story about a local folklorico group who are excited to their first Fiesta performances. Cardinal Nights episode 1 and 2 can be found on the UIWtv YouTube channel. UIW celebrated the Festival of Colors this month. The globally celebrated Indian Festival Holi took place at the Natatorium. The UIW community gathered were given free white t-shirts for the occasion. The students were handed colored powder and people had the chance to toss it on each other in celebration for the festival. At the Westgate Circle, diverse vendors from San Antonio came to show off their products. UIW clubs were also there to play games, give prizes, and represent themselves to the student body.
The whole idea of Holi is to get out of the cold and the winter and move on to spring and brightness and different colors.
The Holi Festival has been celebrated at UIW for over 10 years and will likely continue far into UIW's future. Palenque Grill is very well known in San Antonio that offers a variety of Mexican food from enchiladas, tacos, Carlos seafood, and much more. It started in Laredo, Texas in 2005 and expanded to San Antonio in 2016. But when the pandemic hit, the owner did not know what to do.
There was a lot of anxiety, a lot of uncertainty. So I just remember grouping up with my brothers and my dad and my sisters, and we had a meeting and we just decided to close Palenque Grill as a whole.
Jose Ochoa didn't know what to do once they were able to reopen due to CDC protocols in San Antonio and Laredo once they permitted small group gatherings, taking in consideration all the sanitary measurements. The Botanical Garden has always been known for its vast collection of beautiful flowers, but the garden also provides theatrical entertainment.
The Classic Theater hosts plays within the Botanical Garden. This month's feature was A Doll's House Part 2, a 3-act play taking us through the life of a woman named Nora and dealing with the social issues of late 19th century culture. This, of course, led to creative costume designs from our fellow UIW graduate, Ruby.
A little bit nerve-wracking in the sense that it was a period piece. It does take place in 1984. The design work itself was easy. It was more of getting the materials because we are a community theater.
The play was located outside where viewers could relax and enjoy the nighttime stars in peace. While it is based on a 3-part play, viewers won't have to worry about missing any of them.
So A Doll's House Part 2 is a sequel to A Doll's House, which was written in the late 1800s, but you absolutely do not need to be familiar with Part 1 to really enjoy Part 2.
If you missed out on this one, then don't worry, because other plays are always shown at 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. due selected month. If you'd like to see what the other play would be, get tickets ahead of time, or see what the other events are, then visit www.scbot.org for more information. For UIWtv, I'm John David Gomez.
Looks like I have to check that out as soon as finals are over. As the weather gets better with summer on the horizon, check out how one group of students took advantage of that. Reporter Eric Lumalu has the latest.
It's a beautiful day outside, and as lunch hour is in, why not settle in for a picnic? Students from the School of Osteopathic Medicine and Academy of Pediatrics recently gathered at the Pearl. The program, hoping to shape the younger generations of medicine, and with a couple of residents of the Children's Hospital of San Antonio.
This event is in partnership with the Children's Hospital of San Antonio with the Baylor College of Medicine's residency program in pediatrics.
And basically what that means is like after med school, we go through like further specialized training once we graduate to in whatever specialty we want to.
We try to do events like this where we come to the Pearl and just meet with them and talk with them. And they're there whenever we need them to message them about advice on how to apply to residency programs or just how to make it through medical school in general.
These students established a mentor-mentee relationship with CHOSA this year and pursue projects in conjunction with their pediatric training. To learn more, you can visit their UIW Engage page or on Instagram and Facebook. For UIWtv, I'm Eric Limalu.
Thanks, Eric. Now I'm starting to get hungry. The Academy Awards were hosted in Los Angeles this past Sunday, where history and drama overlapped. Among stunning outfits and good banter, the awards were hosted by Regina Hall, Amy Schumer, and Wanda Sykes. This trio marked the most amount of female hosts to ever host the show. This was also the first time a physical altercation took place on stage. Will Smith slapped Chris Rock following a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith. Not long after, Will Smith took home the award for Best Actor. Meanwhile, Coda, a film about a child of deaf adults, won Best Picture, and Troy Kotsur won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for his performance in Coda, being the second deaf actor in history to win an Academy Award. Among other Oscar winners were Ariana DeBose for her performance in West Side Story and Disney's Encanto for Best Animated Film. The full list of winners can be found on the Oscar website. Spring is here, and so are the warm temperatures. I bet you will not resist a fresh and traditional cup of ice cream, which doesn't only taste good, but is all natural.
Sun is out, and what's better on a sunny day than a refreshing cone of ice cream? Well, Lick is probably one of the best options in San Antonio. Located in the Pearl near Hotel Emma, Lick serves natural and fresh ingredients to their customers.
Other shops will have, dyes and kind of corn syrup and all those other weird sweeteners. We don't have any of that. We put everything into what we get into our ice cream.
Lick has been making seasonal and sustainable artisan ice cream for a few years now.
Our location here has been here since 2014, and our company has been around since 2011. We started in Austin. Our founders, Chad and Anthony, started it then.
When it comes to flavors, Lick also offers a wide variety of options that may be changing throughout the season.
Christmas-style flavors. We have a back-to-school season. But all of it is based off of what we can get available that's going to be fresh here in Texas and as local as possible.
However, there are some other flavors that stand out for the customers.
Best seller is going to be the caramel salt lick, which is your salted caramel ice cream. We also have a Texas sheet cake that is also really popular, which is a chocolate ice cream with a fudge icing swirl and pecans. And then, of course, we have favorites throughout the year with our seasonals. Right now in the spring, we have Tres Leches, a Ladybird Lavender Crisp. That's also really popular.
Next time you head to Pearl, make sure to visit the Lick Scoop Shop for the natural taste of a good ice cream. For UIWtv, I'm Mario Garcia.
Thanks, Mario. I'll be sure to stop by. Now it's time to hear from Jet with his review of a recent box office hit. Take it away, Jet.
What's up, everyone? It is so good to be back here with you on the Final Cut. As always, I'm your host, Jet Delgado, and on today's show, I have a very special movie to share with y'all, and that movie is Scream. The new installment to the Scream franchise welcomes back legendary actors Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, and David Arquette to reprise their roles in the new requel. Now, if you're not familiar with that term, you can think of it as not quite a reboot, but also serves as a sequel with a refreshing new twist. The hype was real for this one, considering the last Scream film was back in 2011. Although this is the first Scream film to be produced without the mastermind director, Wes Craven, I still believe this movie definitely captures its target audience. There's an awesome introduction to a new cast featuring rising stars like Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barrera, Dylan Minnette, and so many more. I can honestly say Scream is a thrill ride start to finish with a runtime of 1 hour and 54 minutes. The guessing game of who the killer is will keep you at the edge of your seat the entire time. The great thing about Scream and what it's known for is breaking that fourth wall. This movie knows exactly what the viewers are thinking, and they find so many hilarious and clever ways to address that. What would a Scream movie be without the comedy side of it all? But don't let that stop you from checking out this insane horror movie. If you flinch at the sight of gruesome content, then this might not be the movie for you. I could really see that Scream wasn't backing down at all from the brutality of the newly revived Halloween series. When Ghostface is on screen, be prepared to see the most graphic kill scenes the franchise has ever produced. Now, you may be thinking, alright, of course Jet is gonna give this movie a great review. It's his absolute favorite franchise. That's not entirely true. I've seen the movie twice since its release date of January 13th, and believe it or not, I was slightly disappointed first time around. Now, this is going to be your spoiler alert warning. One more time, spoiler alert. I kind of feel that I set myself up for failure because of the theory of a potential returning Matthew Lillard to reprise the role of Stu Macher. Well, that didn't happen. The killer or killers were not a returning Stu. I also felt that the amount of screen time that Neve Campbell had was way too minimal, but after considering a few factors like long-term storytelling and the recent announcement of another sequel to release in 2023, I can let those two things slide. I really think if you're a horror fan, then you should check out this awesome film, especially if you're a big Scream fan. If you don't want to take my word for it, let the box office sales speak for themselves. Scream was the first movie to dethrone Spider-Man No Way Home from the #1 spot and has generated over $100 million. You can now stream Scream on Paramount Plus and grab your Blu-ray and DVD copies everywhere this Tuesday. I'm your host, Jet Delgado, and this has been The Final Cut.
Thanks, Jet. I'll make sure to give it a watch over the weekend at home. That's all I've got for you this week. Sports news is coming up next after the break, so don't go anywhere just yet. Until next time, this has been Maria Castillo for UIWtv.
Who are you?
Doesn't matter who I am, at least not to you. Looks like you got more important things to worry about anyway.
No, man, it was just one text though.
That was enough to screw that guy over.
But it's fine though. I didn't even hit the guy.
Oh, you thought you did, but you did. You see that guy? He's well, you know.
No, this is wrong. I didn't mean to hit the guy at all. Please, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't.
Welcome back. I'm Nick Springer with your latest UIW sports news. Let's get started. It's always great to start our sports rundown with the Cardinals making history. On Tuesday night, UIW softball beat Baylor University in Waco 6-4, picking up their first win against a Power 5 team since 2018. It was also the team's first win against a Power 5 team from Texas. The Cardinals came up big in the third inning, scoring 4 of their 6 runs, and junior pitcher Ashley Trapp stepped into the circle and shut down the Baylor offense in the 7th to get the win. The team will hope to build on their momentum this weekend as they travel to play Southeastern Louisiana this Friday. And while softball was busy making history in Waco, UIW baseball played the UTSA Roadrunners at home on Tuesday. The Cardinals fell short in 10 innings 6-4. UIW scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning to take a 4-3 lead, but they couldn't hang on late as UTSA tied the game in the top of the 6th and scored 2 runs in the top of the 10th to get the win. But that wasn't all from the action from our Cardinals in these past few days. The women's golf team traveled to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina to compete in the Gulf Week AGT Collegiate. Junior Ellen Nicholas tied for first place after shooting 5 under par on the final day of the tournament, and the team finished 2nd overall. UIW men's tennis had a strong weekend, winning both of their matches against Our Lady of the Lake University and Southwestern University to remain undefeated at home. And UIW's artistic swimming team also represented the school as they competed at the Nationals in Ohio last weekend. The Cardinals finished 4th overall in the team free final category, just behind the 2 Ohio State Buckeyes teams and Stanford University. UIW finished 3rd in the solo category, 5th in the duet category, and 4th in the trio category. Congratulations to the team for their efforts. And last weekend, UIW men's and women's track and field teams competed in the Texas State Bobcat Invitational. Sophomore Casey Brown broke her personal 400-meter record time in hurdles, finishing 3rd on the podium. Also on the women's side, Abby Gray broke the UIW school record time in the 1,500-meter run. For the men, UIW set a new school record time on the 4x100-meter relay, and Christian Gomez broke the school shot put record. The team will travel to Waco to compete in the Baylor Invitational this weekend. And UIWtv has a new sports-focused program. The Cardinal Huddle aired its first pilot episode just before spring break, and its next episode will premiere in the upcoming weeks. Hosted by Zoe Del Rosario along with several other ComArt students, the Cardinal Huddle is a show aimed at bringing you a deeper look inside UIW sports. The pilot looked at highlights from recent games and the important achievements made by student athletes. The next episode will air on YouTube on Monday, April 11th. And Cardinal fans, let's take a look at what teams are taking the court and the field this weekend. Men's tennis will defend their home court this afternoon against Nicholls State University at 2 p.m. On Friday, softball will play a doubleheader against Southeastern Louisiana starting at 4 p.m. before wrapping up their series on Saturday afternoon. And baseball will host the preseason Southland Conference #1 team, Southeastern Louisiana, for a 3-game series beginning Friday night with games on Saturday and Sunday. And that's all I have for you today in UIW Sports. Now that you're all caught up, it's time for me to sign off. For UIWtv, I'm Nick Springer. And Emily, let's take a look back over at Emily and take a look at those social media responses. I'm curious, Emily, what's your favorite part of the fiesta?
Probably the historic market square. There's so many different sights to see and it's so fascinating. Anyways, our viewers had some other fun responses. Let's take a look. Maddie Valera said, fiesta, party, quinceañera, salsa, baila. And Danny Montemayor said, 100% the food. What about you, Andrea? What do you like most about fiesta?
You can never go wrong with the food. I'm actually craving corn in a cup.
Oh yes, que rico. And that brings to the end of our 4th newscast of the semester. Thank you so much for tuning in.
We hope you have a safe and fun fiesta celebration. We'll be back for our 4th newscast for the final semester on April 14th. Until then, I'm Andrea Oliva.
And I'm Emily Reyna. This has been UIWtv, the word on campus.